What up, what up, what up, YouTube? Oh my gosh, it's been a very long time since I felt like I've seen you all. Well, not physically seen you all, but I've been on here. Um, Decided to make a video now that I have free time and everything is done with my life, really, for the time being. So I guess it's gonna be more of like a story time. Just updating you on everything, and this way it also allows me to vent, because if only y'all knew, from the time that I made the last video and posted the last video up to now, a whole lot has been going on. So I've been writing down some key points and everything for myself, so that way I can address everything that's going on over here. Like I said in the last video, I told you that the videos we posted randomly, as like I said, we have house guests and everything going on, me going back to work. So there's a lot going on that is preventing me from making the videos like I want to make the videos. Thank you to you all that still are subscribed and still tuning in. As soon as I can get everything in control over here, I hope to be posting more videos, but until the time being, this is what it's going to be like. So yeah, we have a house guest. I just committed to allowing them to stay another month. So, like I said, just work with us. Also, some other news while we're talking about he staying another month. I will also be finally going back home to see my family this coming month. Because it's been a while. I've not seen my family since probably February. Yeah, I probably not seen them since February. That was when my mom had surgery back then. So I've not been home since February. And then also, I've also been wanting to go home. And I know some of my friends been pressuring me, telling me, you need to go home and everything. And I know some of my friends are like, I have also like friends and other people that's telling me like, you shouldn't let this pandemic scare you from going to go see your family and all this stuff. But the reason why I guess I waited so long until this month, the month of July, to go home, is because the fact is I had to think about is that my mother has went underneath at least 2 or 3 surgeries, and she's a very high risk patient. So like even with my sister and my dad back home, they have to be careful what they do and where they go to, because she's high risk, and even my sister's high risk. So with my family being a very high risk population or group, it's I'm trying to make sure that I don't want to expose or don't want to rush the process. And I know what I'm doing is doing my part to make sure that I'm ready to go home and that I'm doing all the precautionary measures I need to do. But that also does play a factor into when I can come home. So we have finally decided, after talking to my mom and my dad, that July would be okay to come home, because that's also right before the month. That's also the month before I go back to school and go back to work, which I'm still waiting to hear back on that as well, to figure out if we're going to be in school, we're going to be online. I know that Kansas just will be mandating on July 3rd that we will be we have to wear masks when we out in public. So I don't know if that's going to play a factor into it or not, but we said July would be a good month. Also, in other good news, we are officially moving. Thank God we are moving. Okay, so with this, there's a whole lot of factors that was involved with us moving. I've always told myself, I've been at this house for a very long time. I've been at this house for like 2 years, not a very long time. I've been at this house this is my 2nd year being at this house. And so this house has been great. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable. But we have 2 grown men living in this house, and we are living right on top of each other. And we just felt like it was just time for us to move. Due to recent events that popped up, it was just a perfect transition and a perfect move to the next phase of our life. And so we decided to move. Like I said, I've always wanted something bigger. That was right before the first time. So the first time we got word that we probably had to look for somewhere else to move. And this was around like maybe Christmas time. So we had word that we probably had to move. So then we went through the weeks, we got the house cleaned up, got it prepared for the person that's gonna walk in, just in case they say, hey, we're gonna need to move. Me and my roommate was looking for a place to move. Then we got the word a few weeks later that they did not negotiate on a deal, so we were able to stay a little bit longer. So then when the second time came that we got the word again, I treaded very lightly because I was like, I'm not going to put my hopes into and stressing myself out, because at the time I was also still online teaching. And I had enough stress with that, and I didn't need to add more stress by saying, oh, we about to move, and then I got to go through the process like, oh, we got to get ready to move again, and we're not going to move. So I was like, I'm treading very lightly with the subject. So, like I said, it was brought up again probably like April, May. Said they're going to make a decision and everything. So then, like I said, I'm treading lightly, and then finally, towards the end of May, beginning of June, probably more beginning of June-ish, we got word that he really did sold the house. So now the house has been sold. We have new landlords. There's a whole lot of people involved. So if anybody's watching this, have ever been through the process of closing on a house, selling a house, you might be able to relate to this, or you may be able to give me some more advice for this. But I'm just telling you right now, that was the most stressfulest thing in the world. And what I mean by that is that literally we had people coming in and out of the house, wanting to look at the house, asking me questions about the house, and knowing me as me being a tenant in the house, I could barely answer any of the questions. Like, it was questions that they was asking me from years ago before I even moved into the house. So like, literally you asking me questions that I don't even know. So sorry about that. That was my roommate and texted me. I'm sorry if you heard the notification. So it was a whole lot of process. Like, I had to make sure the house was clean. I kept trying to make sure the house was clean every time, because literally we had the two people that bought the house, the two men that bought the house, one of them wanted to come by and see, because the other one saw it and already was talking to my other landlord about it. And so he wanted to come by and see. So I was able to give him a tour of the house. And then like maybe the next week, he had contractors come by the house. So then I had contractors, probably like 5 to 8 contractors come through the house and was looking at the house, asking questions. Is there any problem with the house? Do you know what happened with this? We seen that this happened at this house. Do you know what that is? Or all these different questions. Like, I really didn't know how to answer all the questions, and I was just like, ah! So that was a lot. So that happened, and then this last week, I just got word that literally I'm out here doing my other job, and I get a phone call. So knowing me, I'm thinking that's my person I'm delivering to. No, it's another lady involved talking about she wanted to get a hold of the current landlord. You know what I mean? I'm so confused on the whole process of who the current landlord, who the landlords, and all that stuff. Like I said, if you sold houses before, you know this process, you probably can understand this stuff a lot more than I do. Knowing me, I'm a young man coming from Kansas City, where I lived with my parents all my life until 2014 when I started living in dorms. So this is my first time ever dealing with the house being sold and how that works. So it's like, with me, I was just going crazy, because I was like, oh my freaking gosh, what is going on here? So like I was saying is that I got that call. She wanted to get hold. I was like, okay, now I'm at work. Let me get off of work, and then I'll get a hold of you. So while I'm at work still, the previous landlord, because now I do have new landlord because I sold the house now. So the last landlord called me and wanted me to sign paperwork and get it back to him within like an hour or two. So I had to finish up my one delivery that I was doing, because in the midst of picking up the food, then going to go deliver. So I had to go pick up the food, deliver it, and then I had to run to my school because my roommate wasn't going to work till later, so he was going to print it off. So I had to run to my school, get that printed off, take it back to the house, and get both of us to read it, initial it, sign it, and then I had to take it back to the school to get it scanned and emailed. I'm telling you right now, that whole day when she called and they were selling the house, the day they were selling the house, I'm telling you right now, my patience levels were very low. Like, I was getting very irritated. I literally had to call my dad. Like, literally, we talk a lot about dads and everything. I'm telling you right now, I have the best and supportive dad in the world. Literally, my dad had to calm me down, because literally, I was like, oh my God, Dad, why? Da, 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 da. I'm just going off venting to him. And he had to let me know, like, son, this is the part of the process when you sell a house. This is what you have to do when you sell a house. This is what you have to do when you are, selling a house. And he also told me, like, you should have expected this because he told you that if he sold the house, if everything went right, they'll be your landlord. If not, then you go back to him. So you should have expected this. But he said, I understand you didn't know the process. So my dad was able to walk me through the process, like, hey, Dad, I have to do this. I have to do that. I had to ask him, like, all different questions. Like, they asked about contractors. Yes, I will admit, as somebody who's 27 who went to college, got a college degree, I didn't know what a contractor was. Because now I'm trying to figure out, like, why is this contractor wanting to know how we pay rent and where we gonna pay the rent and how we gonna pay it. So like with me, I'm like, okay, now there was two men that bought the house, so why are we not paying rent to them? But now we paying rent to this other lady. So you see why I'm getting confused, because it's like there's too many people involved. It's like 4 people involved. My past landlord, 2 people that bought the house, and now this lady, the contractor. So it's a lot going on. So that happened. We got that done with. And then finally, last Friday, we had to meet with the contractor about the house as far as how we're going to pay rent and everything else. So we had to meet with her on Friday, and I had to get her a key made. So thank God, sorry to be this rude if anybody feels offended by this, but I just thank God that the process is I'm praying that the process is over with. Because this past month, dealing with this was a lot of stress to me. Like I said, because for me, a young man who never had to deal with this and never knew how this worked, it was very stressful to me because I'm trying to figure out how to follow the process. Like, how is this process supposed to go? I guess to me, I'm the kind of person where I wish somebody could have walked me through it. Like, my dad walked me through it, but it'd been nice to be able to get, like, hey, this is what happens. This is what happens next. This is what's going to happen. Like, it also would have helped. I think sometimes, too, what else could have helped, too, is that with these people asking questions, I wish I could have been prepared more for the questions. But I guess you get what you get. And I guess that's a good thing that with me in college, there's a net flying around. The good thing with me going to college that they did prepare you that if that does happen, to always be prepared for anything. You always got to be prepared to speak. Especially my fraternity does a lot of that too. They prepare me a lot too. Is that they prepared you that no matter when or where, if somebody asks you to speak, you should be ready to speak. And so the good thing was, luckily I was able to answer the question the best that I could, but I still felt, in a way, still uncertain about things. I was like, I hope anybody that's interested in being the contractor or buying a house does not want to back out because of things that I said. Because the fact is, there were some things I was very clueless on. There are some things about this house that I did not know about. But knowing me, that just shows you that I need to make sure that my next house, when I do decide to move again after this next one, that I do the research on it to know, hey, when was it built? What did the house go through? Like, did it go through a fire? Do you know possibly why? Did they have structural damage? Trying to figure out all the details with the house before I get the next one. Because I tell myself my next house, I want it to be where I have bought the house. I don't want to rent the house because, like I was telling my roommate, I don't want to go through this process again. To both of us, it was a lot. Because like I said, it happened last Wednesday when I got all those phone calls. So for at least probably a good 2 to 3 hours, I was running around Wichita. So like literally I was trying to hurry up and deliver food. I was running to the school. I was running back home. I was running back to the school. I was just going. I'm trying to get everything done for them so that way they can sell the house. So that's what I'm saying. If I were to do this process again, I hope it'll be with me buying a house more than me renting a house. So that's what's going on. And then the last thing I have to talk about, updates, is that, yes, I have put myself back onto the dating apps. So now I'm back in the dating scene. I had to just take some time for myself, figuring out what I'm looking for in a relationship, looking for me and not being influenced by the things around me. So, yes, I have put myself back on the dating scene. And I've been learning a lot of different things. Like, I've heard that there's a 10-date rule out there where if a young man is interested in you, he would take you out on 10 dates, and that's public dates where it's not Netflix and chill and not coffee dates. They take you on 10 genuine dates. It's a way for you to get to know the person even more, and it's just a really good idea. I thought it really was cool. 10 dates, I think that's really cool because at the end of the day, 10 days can last you anywhere from whatever you want it to be. So I wouldn't even put a time limit on it because literally it could be a month, it could be 2, it could be 3. I know with Steve Harvey, like my mother was telling me, Steve Harvey said after 3 months you know if it's sure or not, if that's the one for you. So to me, I think it really just subjectable on your relationship and what you think it is. But I also would encourage that you do not rush it either. So just because I'm saying it's subjectable does not mean that you can just rush into it and it'd be like, hey, this the one, bing, bang, boom. Okay, within the first 3 months, you're going to meet my parents. You're going to do that. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to do that. And it's like sometimes you just need to take your time. Like I was saying, like you don't have to rush to show your significant other out to your parents. To me, I just don't want to do that. Especially, I guess, to me, personally, with me living 3 hours away from my family, I want to make sure that the one that I am taking on the road with me to go meet my parents is somebody that I definitely can see myself spending my life with. Because what I don't want to do is bring that person home and then just so happen that something just happened and we fall off. So to me, I want to make sure that I cherish this time that I'm all about valuing time too. So I want to make sure that the one that I do send home to allow to see my parents, that is the official one. So I really would love to take that time to get to know this individual, get to know them very well, because at the end of the day, yeah, we can spend all the time in the world together. We can talk on the phone and everything. But it's something different when you get in that car for 3 hours and you have to drive 3 hours with that person to go meet your parents. And so that is a thing to me, that I just value time, and I want to make sure that this person I'm valuing their time is that they are the one that is going to be the one that I make a lifelong commitment to. So I just want to make sure that I do that. So that's my thing. Like I said, I'm not coming for nobody. Like if that's what you want to do, you want to go meet your parents after the first 3 months or whatever, you go do that. I'm just saying what I'm doing. So that was saying this is just my little relationship tips and advice that I've been looking to. So yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on Pinterest too. So for those of people that follow me on Snapchat and Instagram, you probably saw me posting a lot of quotes on those platforms, and that's because I'm always finding myself on Pinterest, and I'm always finding quotes that either I feel like would relate to someone, or it basically is describing or is able to explain what I'm thinking or what I'm saying. So I really like that too. That sometimes there's some things that Pinterest is saying that I'm like, whoa, that really relates to me, or I feel like somebody else could learn or could enjoy this. So that's where I get a lot of my stuff from. So like I was saying, so this is just an update video. I can't really see how long this video is. I'm sorry if it's too long. But like I said, it's just a lot been going on. Like I said, we finally got done with the process of selling the house, and now we have new landlords, and we will be moving. We decided to do that. And I got the place of my dreams. I've always wanted a place where I had to walk up to my bedroom. I don't know why I've always been infatuated by that, but that's what I'm getting. So I'm very happy that I'm going to get what I want. Like I said, I'm back on the dating scene. Taking it very easy. I am going to take my time with this one. Sometimes I was, like I told y'all before, I think I might have told y'all, I was easily influenced by my friends and everything, because I saw how a lot of my friends, even though me being single all majority of my life, being single majority of your life, and I kept seeing my friends hopping into relationships after another, or just being able to get into a relationship like off the drop of a dime or just from talking, it really did affect me, because it was like, man, it felt like I actually really did question God. I tell people, there's certain people I talk to about this, I question God, because like, you see me sitting up here and I'm like, God, okay, now that ain't, I was like, God, why are you doing this to me? Because the fact is, I've been single my majority of my life, and why is this friend, why are these two, how these two get into a relationship before me? Or how these two get into a relationship before me? And so I've seen a lot of different relationships around me, and only thing I've been learning to do is just congratulate and be happy for them. But it also does play a factor into me, because then that's why I was rushing things, and I had to take myself off the dating scene and off the dating platform, because if I was like, I was rushing things because I keep seeing all my other friends keep getting into relationships, and here I am, been looking for a while, been actively on dating apps, been trying to talk to people for like years, 2 or 3 years, like I told y'all, and I can't find nobody. So I thought it was unfair that literally I felt like I was being punished. Like, that's not right. But after talking to some people, they told me sometimes, you can learn from those relationships. And so what you should do is just take notes from them. And then that should help you out. So what I've been doing is that after they told me that, I've been actually watching the people that I've seen just got into a relationship, or who have been in a relationship for a little bit of time. And I've just been watching them and just seeing how they interact, how they operate as a couple. And then I've been taking notes from their books to say, is this what I want to do in my relationship, or is this something that's going to be a deal breaker in mine? And so I've been able to take notes from all the people that's around me that's in relationships and go from there. You can also put this in the comments. I've been thinking about this. I'm going to hurry up and get off this video because I'm just rambling now. I've actually been thinking about starting up like a singles group, or like for men, because sometimes I'm noticing that a lot of my friends are in relationships, and so when it's time to go hang out, they bring their significant other, which I don't have no problem with that. But it does seem a little awkward when you bring your significant other. Here I am, the lonely bee, like, oh, okay, this is kind of awkward. I wish I would have known. Or what it may be, because I even had one friend who tell me all the time that when I can hang out with her and her man, and I would never feel like a third wheel. But to me, I feel like that's true, but I think that sometimes it can be that way. But I think as long as you and your man is together, or you and your girl is together, and you invite somebody who is not seeing anybody, and y'all say, hey, let's just hang out, I think it can work out like that, but I really don't think it's going to last, because couples do what couples do. They argue, they play, they openly affectionate, whatever the case may be. So it's like, it can be that way where you cannot feel like a third wheel, but most times you are going to probably be a third wheel, because at the end of the day, when we go out in public, when we go hang out, y'all going to do what y'all got to do as a couple. So y'all going to hold hands, or y'all going to be super close to each other, or they're going to be flirtatious with each other. So it don't... To me, that was saying, I think it could work, but most times as couples, it's not going to work. It probably could if I could just get myself out of that mentality of thinking like that, but I just don't think it's possible to have friends who are in a relationship and not feel like the third wheel. So, I would love to hear your input on that. Because I hear that a lot, that people are like, you won't feel like the third wheel or the fifth wheel or whatever. But there's been times where I've been out, and after I get into the groove of having some fun, it doesn't cross my mind anymore. But the first time, sometimes there have been times where I've been on a relationship. I went to go hang out with my friends, and there'll be 2 couples there, and then me being the only one. And I'm like, oh. And sometimes I be thinking like, I didn't know this was going to be a double date, because if I would have known, I would have brought me somebody, and we could have been a triple date. I didn't know that. So, but I've also had times where there'll be 2, 3 couples in the room, and there'll be like at least 1, 2, maybe 3 of us single people in there, and we can hang out. And it's like, okay, now, whoo, I don't feel like the only lonely bee up in here. At least I got somebody else to depend on. So like I said, this is all that's going on. Like I said, I really wanted to come up with this video because, like I said, I feel like it's been so long since I created a video. I got this morning, I was like, man, I did not create a video in a long time. So now that my house is free for right now, because the guest is gone, is staying with somebody else for right now. Roommate's at work. His girlfriend is at work. So I happen to have the house to myself, and I'm not working because I was trying to get my music on my phone to work. So I thought I'd come to y'all and create this video. So make sure that you comment, like, subscribe, and just let me know what you want next. If you got ideas for the next video, shoot those in the comments. Peace out.